We did investigate emigrating, investigated from the embassies. We got information for Canada, where my sister had gone, Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. And we weighed everything up. We got the information about cost of living, availability of jobs, climate, all this sort of thing that would matter. And we decided that we would go to South Africa. As the time approached, I began to have really nervous problems. I said, by that time my mother had passed away, and I said to my dad, I don't know what it is, but my tongue is swelling in my mouth like I'm choking. And he said, it's your nerves. My husband and I decided to go and see the GP and explain the situation. He said to us, it's a very big thing to emigrate. You mustn't worry, these symptoms will disappear when you arrive. By the time we left the country, I now had shingles, and we had accepted a charter flight which was offered to people wanting to emigrate. It was a DC-4, very old 4-engine plane with no air conditioning. We took off, and our first stop was Luxor, where it was extremely hot. We did have mosquito nets, but we didn't sleep with the heat. The next morning, the breakfast, the eggs and the butter were rancid. We took off again. Now we were heading for Nairobi, but no, the first stop was, I think, Nairobi. There we were allowed, just while the aeroplane refueled, we were allowed just to go inside into the air-conditioned building. We had to be escorted by soldiers because there was trouble there. Then we got back on the plane, and now we were heading for Entebbe. Well, we came down in Entebbe. That was now our third morning. Yes, it would have been second day we finally reached Entebbe in Central Africa. That was really, really hot. The hotel only had fans, and really it was incredibly hot. First time I saw creepy crawlers in the bath of a size I couldn't have ever imagined. So that was quite an experience. Well, we duly took off from Entebbe the next day, which was now the beginning of the third day, and we were on our way to Johannesburg, South Africa. I had a window seat, and I could see out what was happening, and I saw smoke coming from one of the 4 engines, and I asked what was going on, and then they said there was some trouble, and they actually shut that engine down. Then they announced that we would have to make an emergency stop at what was Salisbury in those days. It was an intentional stop. Well, we managed to land at Salisbury. We were in the building, but we had no water, nothing to drink, nothing to eat. And we waited. We were told they would do the repairs and we would take off again. And we waited and waited and waited. That evening, they came to us and said they hadn't been able to repair it. We would now get on a coach and go to a hotel for the night. By this time, we were so worn out and strained, and my nerves were at breaking point. My husband was so fed up, he got on the bus with my daughter, held her, and wouldn't sit by me. I had to go to the back of the bus, the only empty seat, squashed in between people in this heat. And I was just praying that we would get there. And we just went on and on and on. By the time we got there, I had snapped. I pushed my way through. I could no longer see properly. I stumbled off the bus, and I was now unable to see. I was just breathing, trying to breathe. What we would call today, of course, they would call a panic attack, but it went on and on and on, and just had to write itself. No paper bag to blow into in those days. At the hotel, they called a doctor. He examined me, saw the shingles on my arm and asked what medication I was taking, and then said he couldn't give me anything else. I had got the best medication. So that was that.